Well, this has certainly has been like a long, strange trip to finally watch this, and not just because of all the shenanigans in the C-suite, but I'm glad I finally have. So, hello everyone. Now that I finally had a chance to watch it, it's yet another movie that I wanted to watch right when it debuted this weekend, but server issues had other ideas. Thankfully, I did get to work later that same night when it debuted. So, here, I might be belated. Here are my first viewing thoughts on the feature film Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, which is directed by a longtime series crew member Lauren Montgomery. A see as well as being co-written and co-produced by his host creators Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, and among promising newcomers to make the beloved head team after their own. We also have supporting cast, which includes the likes of Frida Pinto, Kei Hui Kwan, on, and Dave Bautista, and of course, Steve Bradley Baker, her being returning as voice Appa, Momo, and all the other supporting animals. So, let's begin. The film takes place after the events of the original Avatar: Last Airbender, her television series, as well as before her the hours of The Legend of Korra and presumably upcoming Seven Havens as well, in which Aang, now an adult, tried to maintain his role as peacekeeper between the four nations, and also find a means of passing along what he knows before he joins a cycle. Oh, he comes across with another ancient airbender known as Taga, voiced by Batista, as well as a group of rogue non-benders known as the Denied, who could plunge the world in darkness once again. And I also really enjoy how the movie builds upon ideas introduced in the show, both in terms of its world building and storytelling, where it makes sense that dealing with the source one perspective that would be different from the perspective of when he was physically and emotionally 12 years old. But I also appreciate how they kept a lot of details consistent, like how he still has a sense of adventure and wonder, or that Katara is still empathic, but also an optimist in the face of overwhelming Odds. Sokka is still creative, deadpan, and even though he may not have any bending powers, he's still quite powerful. Oh, and Toph is also still not one to mess with, despite having a vision impairment. That I also kind of like how this connected tissue with other aspects, like how seeing a public city at the earlier stage, and how Toph used her middle bending skills to help again keep the peace in there. And of course, the little Easter eggs of the cabbage guy and the fact that the foamy mouth guy now has facial hair and a wife who's expecting a child. To a nice little way to show kind of like an aging with the audience, but also being family friendly. Admittedly, a legacy sequel, as I mentioned before, is a tricky thing to get right, but I really think they did, honestly. It manages also to really touch on quite resonant and also relevant themes about the line between conflict and pacifism, um, as well as having being like an otherworldly body voiced by actor and filmmaker Taika Waititi. He he like it definitely, and of course it is visually stunning. I mean, I know it would have been cool to see this theatrically, even just at Fathom events. People who got to see this first at SDCC were a real treat there. And they've also hinted at like letting the he say hey the elemental whole pig cat out of the bag. That there are more unannounced projects coming. I know that fighting game just came out and people seem to be enjoying it. Yet, even though it's just like to be hammered out with the netcode as well. Given whether or not, depending no matter what happens with Warner's, I gather Paramount's new owners are going all in on games as well. Since they're taking another crack at doing like a TMNT game of Platinum based on the Fanfit Last Ronin storyline, I would actually love them to try another again with the Avatars as well. Like, can you imagine something in the vein of Bayonetta with these characters? Because I certainly could. Admittedly, while the people in the C-suite may not have always been the best at managing in, in this franchise as a work of art as opposed to who a work of commerce. I am at least glad that they are good at hiring and talented casts and creatives to work on it. I mean, I'm still interested in finishing my reviews of past incarnations that have been in kind of waylaid for a long time. I'm. It's just that I like to get these things right as opposed to getting them done quick. Typically, it's the reason why I did not watch this movie when it leaked online. I've been dodging spoilers for months now. Oh, and like even for other shows and work movies talking about as well as games, I always do my best to who talk about things right when they come out, and now I'll definitely be watching Seven Havens when it comes out since that's also late, and I'd actually it's already got plenty of fan arts and cosplays as well. Hell, I like how, but I'm betting I should start wrapping this up. I'd be willing to watch the movie again, and as soon as the server start working right. So, while this may not be my favorite film of this year, I can say, hey, in all likelihood, at least for now, it's made the list. So, if this is like going to be the start of the new era for the Airbenders, especially as the debut work from the newly formed Avatar Studios, whose then I am definitely eager to see what they come up with next. I mean, Avataring The Last Airbender is definitely a, a welcome return. And I don't mean no disrespect to other people, but I think the only things hollow that are coming out of this right now are some of the things that the Ellison's lawyers have said. I mean, anyway, just like something quick while I work on some of my other stuff, rework my other bits of my schedule. Oh, I mean, got Spider-Man on Thursday, and gonna be seeing the Odyssey again this afternoon. So, anyway, that'll be all for now. See you all again soon. Take care, everyone. Mm.